So, a couple weeks ago, a couple of my buds recommended me Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it looked really good from what I saw. I looked a little bit of it up and it looked really promising, so I sat down and watched the first episode. I instantly got hooked and watched the rest of the series. Then watched the movie, then I accidentally got just too interested too. I saw it on Netflix, and apparently there was an entirely new cast for a dub. I didn't have a problem with it though. In fact, I thought the performances were great of most of the characters. The only downside, or at least my only downside, was that they couldn't get the rights to that Fly Me to the Moon cover for the credits. Instead, they used some weird piano track, which I'm sure was in some part of the show. I honestly just forgot. I'm just gonna go ahead and give my main thoughts and, give a little detail on the story if you care. Also, major spoilers. I don't want to spoil anyone here who actually wants to watch it. And if you're not interested, or if you've already seen it, then be my guest. But you have been warned. Also, just an FYI, if you want to see my other little thoughts on the end of it, then here's the time code for that. If you just want to skip to that and you don't want to have any spoilers. Yeah, there's not much obviously, but just in case. So, if I can note something, this was basically my first anime ever, other than Pokemon. Meaning that my background knowledge is very small on animes and the general medium. And I know that a large majority of my audience either haven't seen this specifically, or just haven't seen that much anime in general like me. In other words, this is all entirely brand new to me. And whoa, there is a lot to unpack here. So, basically, there's this guy named Shinji, a teenager living in a futuristic Tokyo 3, 15 years after the Second Impact. He's tasked by his father, Gendo, to the high-profile organization in which he's in charge of, NERV, to pilot a giant biomachine mech, the EVA Unit 1, in the combat against several alien monsters named Angels. What Shinji has to do is to destroy every single one of them. Obviously not on his own, however, since we are also introduced to Misato in the first episode. She invites Shinji to live in her apartment, and they do that, but also she's the commander, so she helps Shinji out and basically tells him what to do during these fights. Anyways, Shinji is pressured into fighting the Angel without any training, and is quickly overwhelmed in the battle, causing the Evangelion to go berserk and savagely kill the Angel on its own. Evangelion Unit 0 was repaired shortly afterwards, and Shinji tries to befriend its pilot, the mysterious, socially isolated teenage girl, Rei Ayanami. With Rei's help, Shinji defeats another Angel. Sooner or later, around the 10th episode or so, they're joined by the pilot of Evangelion Unit 2, the multi-talented but insufferable teenager Asuka Langley Soyu. She's kind of a hothead sometimes, but when she gets her shit together, she can kick ass. Together, the three of them manage to defeat the 14 other Angels. As Shinji adjusts to his new role as pilot, he gradually becomes more confident and self-assured, but at the same time, due to lots and lots of trauma throughout the entire thing, refuses to help out and at one point quits. Twice. But eventually he also gets his shit together. Asuka moves in with Shinji and they begin to develop confusing feelings for one another. Later in on the show, during another Angel fight, Shinji gets absorbed by an Angel, but he breaks free thanks to the Eva acting on its own. He's later forced to fight an infected Unit 3 and watches its pilot, his friend and classmate Toji, incapacitated and presumably permanently disabled. Asuka loses her self-confidence following a defeat and spirals into depression. This is worsened by her next fight against an Angel which attacks her mind and forces her to relieve her worst fears and childhood trauma. There's a lot of that, resulting in a mental breakdown. In the next battle, Rei self-destructs Unit 0 and dies to save Shinji's life. Misato and Shinji visit the hospital where they find Rei alive, but claiming she is the third Rei. Misato forces scientist Rasuko Ayagi to reveal the dark secrets of NERV, the Evangelion Boneyard, and the Dummy Plug system, which operates using clones of Rei, who was herself created with the DNA of Shinji's mother Yui. This succession of events leads to Shinji emotionally scarred and alienated from the rest of the characters, removing a ton of the character development and the eventual calming down and all that, which ensued over the past 10 to 15 episodes. Kaworu, or however you fucking pronounce his name, This odd character who acts weird and reminds me of Rei replaces Asuka as pilot of Unit 2 and is known as the Fifth Children. He initially befriends Shinji and gains his trust and even has like a little thingy going on, but is in truth, he's the final foretold angel Tabriz. Kaworu fights Shinji, then realizes that he must die if humanity is to survive and asks Shinji to kill him. Shinji hesitates but eventually kills Kaworu, causing Shinji to be overridden with guilt. After the final angel is defeated, 𝐒𝐏𝐿, the mysterious cabal overseeing the events of the series, triggers the Human Instrumentally Project, a forced evolution of humanity in which the souls of all mankind are merged for benevolent purposes, believing that if unified, humanity could finally overcome the loneliness and alienation that has eternally plagued mankind. This causes us to learn about every, and I mean every, single main character's inner struggles in their past. Shinji's soul grapples with the reason for his existence and reaches an epiphany that he needs others to thrive, enabling him to destroy the wall of negative emotions that torment him and reunite with the others, who congratulate him. So when I finished all of that, especially the final 2 episodes that take place after Kaworu was defeated, I had to process what the hell I just watched. It was insane. But it was also confusing, and apparently many fans of the show were confused by it too. So much so that the creator decided to make an entire movie, creating an alternate, more intense ending that is called The End of Evangelion, and it came out in theaters in 1997, 2 years after the initial run of the show. It took place after episode 24, and the cause of the events in episode 25 and 26 are spread out to the middle. Anyways, after probably the weirdest thing to ever partake in a hospital scene occurred, 𝐒𝐿, the mysterious cabal I was talking about earlier, realizes that Shinji's dad intends to use NERV for his own gains. 𝐒𝐿 dispatches the Japanese Strategic Self-Defense Force to seize control of NERV, destroying most of the secret facility and killing almost everyone. Misato ordered Asuka to pilot EVA Unit 2 and she's placed at the bottom of the lake. Shinji, going through another phase of not wanting to pilot the EVA because he is emotionally scarred, refuses to pilot the EVA again. Misato brings him to Unit 1's bay doors but is shot in the process. Before her death, she implores Shinji to pilot the Unit 1, kisses him, and forces him to the elevator. Shinji discovers Unit 1 is immobilized in big light. After realizing that NERV's success in living is pretty much impossible, Gendo retrieves Rei and plans to use her for the 3rd impact, which is basically the 2nd impact but much, much worse. And that'll kill everyone on Earth, but to also reunite him with his dead wife, Yui. Attempting to stop him, NERV scientist Ritsuko, haven't really mentioned her much, but here she is, sends a computer command to destroy NERV. Casper, a computer core modeled on Ritsuko's mother, overrides her command and Gendo kills her. Meanwhile, inside Unit 2, Asuka overcomes her childhood trauma and reactivates the unit. She destroys the JSSDF forces, but 𝐒𝐿 unleashes a fleet of new mass-produced Evangelion units who disembowel her in Unit 2. Unit 1 eventually breaks free of the big light and ascends above NERV headquarters. From the cockpit, Shinji sees the mass-produced units carrying the mutilated remains of Unit 2 and screams in terror. Gendo attempts to merge with Rei, who carries the soul of Lilith, an angel hidden behind NERV headquarters, to begin the 3rd impact. Having merged with another angel, Adam, he will become a god if he merges with Lilith. However, Rei rejects Gendo, absorbs Adam, and reunites with Lilith, growing to a gargantuan size. The mass-produced Evangelion units pull Unit 1 into the sky and crucify it with the Lance of Longinus, which transforms into the Tree of Life, beginning the 3rd impact. After even more dreamlike contemplations, including a fight with Asuka where he chokes her, Shinji decides that he is alone and everyone in the world should die. In response, Lilith dissolves humanity back into LCL, a conscious soup that it's just everyone into like a single conscience. Shinji realizes that life is about experiencing joy as well as pain and rejects this idea. Unit 1, seemingly moving on its own, breaks free of the Tree of Life, wielding the rematerialized Lance of Longinus to destroy the mass-produced units and end the 3rd impact. Rei/Lilith's body splits into pieces, crashing to the surface of the Earth. Shinji awakes on the shoreline littered with the wreckage of mass production units and the body of Rei, and finds that Asuka has also rematerialized. He begins to strangle Asuka, but when she caresses his face, he stops and breaks down into tears, and that's how it ends. So, what was my first reaction to all of this?
Wish that I could turn back time, 'cause now the guilt is all mine. Can't live without the trust from those who...
Honestly, I really enjoyed watching this because, like I said earlier, I haven't really seen much of this kind of medium entertainment. Like, throughout the entire show, I was on the edge of my seat, having absolutely no idea what the hell was gonna happen next. The action was pretty fucking cool. You gotta see giant robots beating the hell out of these giant monsters. Is kind of cool. If I had to be honest, I think my favorite character is Misato. She's kind of chill, and like, I like the characters that like, they're very, very laid back and relaxed throughout like the entire thing, but like, the second like, things get serious, like you can just count on the character to just go right back into serious mode, focus on taking care of the issue at hand instead of just being jokey all the time and shit. Asuka, at the start, I thought she was really, really annoying. She's just really hot-headed and all that crap. But like, later on, like, I felt like she probably had the most issues, and like, we got to learn more about her and her mommy issues and all that stuff. Shinji's fine. Shinji's cool. He's basically the same as Asuka. Like, he was very whiny. He didn't want to do it, but like, once we got to learn more about the character, like, oh crap, yeah, okay, maybe you have a reason to, but at the same time, you need to get your shit together. You need to get out there. You need to get in the robot and do all this stuff. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, first off, you're really stupid, since I literally just spoiled the entire damn series to you. It's really badass. If you're into cool mech fights and really getting to learn about the characters and their inner enigmas and all that, then I think you'll enjoy it. And for me, well, damn, I got a few tricks up my sleeves for the next month or two, and you'll just have to wait and see for what I have next in store. That's it for me this time, and see you next month.